if you want to ask a question, or if, it's your turn to speak. And I've got everybody listed who I've asked to share, so I'll just call you, and we'll just take turns. So I'm going to start and, just tell you some, I think we had 100 people at Summit this year, which was obviously a record for us. I know next year we would like, at least double that. Hopefully, I know a lot more people have already registered, including the 100 that we had. They all registered, plus we had a lot of new coaches that registered for next year. You probably saw the post that it's currently on a waiting list. So we've already sold 25,000 tickets within the first, day or first couple days. Hotels are still an issue, right? I know a lot of people, are still trying to find hotels or trying to find hotels in town. So don't necessarily worry too much about hotels, because a lot of hotels opened up later on in the year they were initially sold out last year as well. So currently I'm staying at the Gaylord, which is about 20 minutes away. So I will be looking to get in town as well. I did call, just to let you know, I did call the Renaissance today, and they are going to be opening up their non-Beachbody rate rooms in about 2 weeks. So I plan to call them then. I won't get the $199 price, but it would probably still be worth it, even if it's a little bit more to get in town. So, if anybody else is in that boat, you might want to call, in a couple weeks as well. So anyway, I think it was an amazing experience. And I know that we all got something different out of it. And I've asked, some first-time people who went to Summit to speak, and they can kind of give you their experience on it and what they took away from it. So, what I would want to talk to you guys about is one of the coach sessions, one of the, breakout sessions. I forget, somebody can remind me who was speaking, but they were talking about telling your story. And I don't remember who the trainers were, but that one kind of spoke to me. And, Casey, who was sitting behind me, kind of poked me and said, Greg, I've been on the team for how many months? I don't know, 10 months, and I've never heard your story. Okay, so that is, I know a lot of you have probably heard my story who've been around longer, or, been part of the sneak peeks or whatever, but, that's kind of a failing on my part if you've never heard my story. And it's definitely something that I'm working on. So, that training I thought was great. And it's definitely something that I need to work on. So, okay, Amber says it was Amy Silverman and Megan Oldson. So let me tell you my story real quick, and then I'll tell you about, ways that they said that we should share our story. So, and your story doesn't necessarily have to be your transformation story. It can be, whatever story that you want to tell. It could be your financial story. It could be your transformation story. It could be the story of what you had for lunch, So it's just different ways of telling your story. And for me, let me start, when I got into Beachbody, which was January of 2011, so over 4 years ago, I had let myself gain about 50 pounds. So I was about 50 pounds overweight. And I know many of you have probably heard my story of how I did P90X, and I lost the weight, and I did a couple rounds, and and I got off of blood pressure medicine because it was right around my 40th birthday, and I went to the doctor, and the doctor put me on high blood pressure medicine, and he said, Greg, your sugar's getting high. You're probably going to have to be put on, diabetic medicine eventually. And he said, you really need to start working out. And that was kind of a wake up call for me. And I knew that I wanted to be around for like my daughter's graduation and, when they get married someday and all those things. was kind of going through my head, and I realized that I needed to make a change. So that's when I started P90X, and that's why I lost the weight, and I became a coach because I wanted to stick with it. But there's one part of my story which I've never shared, and I've never shared with anybody on this team, actually. And it's because it's something that I'm kind of ashamed of. And the reason that I gained that 50 pounds is because I was fired from my job the previous year. And I was always in the company that I worked for, which was Network Solutions. I was always a top engineer. I was always rated a top engineer. I was in demand. I was highly respected in the company. But then this new management came in, and we just did not see eye to eye. They wanted to take shortcuts. They didn't want us to, test the code, and they were, doing things that I didn't agree with. So obviously we butted heads because, for those that know me, I don't just roll over and take things. So basically they just said, Greg, you're fired, you're let go. And that was kind of crushing to me, being a man, being a guy, being someone who I thought was indispensable in the corporation, who had been with this company for 11 years and was always top rated, received so many awards and accolades that when they just said, Greg, you're fired, and walked me out the door, it was just like, wow, it's something that I never expected. And it didn't take me long to get another job. I think I had another job in a month, but it was kind of like starting over, and I was back at the bottom, and, my self-esteem took a big hit, and, my motivation to do anything, to excel at anything kind of took a big hit. So I felt like I was at the bottom of my career again, and I ate. And that's how I gained the 50 pounds. And that's how my health deteriorated so fast. My blood pressure, shot up with the work and the stressing and the working long hours to try to, prove myself in the new company. So, that's when I went to the doctor and I found out about my blood pressure and all this other stuff. And that's, when I started P90X. And when I became a coach, one of the things that drives me as a coach, so, you guys want to know my why, right? Why do I work this business so hard? Is because I realized that, the corporate world doesn't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about me. I was one of their top employees, and they let me go just like that. It's like you can work your ass off, and they're going to give you a 5% raise. And when you die, they're not going to do anything for you. They're not going to give you anything. I mean, whatever you've done for yourself, right? So if you have a retirement, that's all you. The company that you're slaving for and you're working for so hard right now, they don't care. If they need to cut their bottom line, they're going to cut you, right? If you don't see eye to eye with the management, they're going to cut you. They don't care. So when I discovered this opportunity, and I saw that I could do something meaningful, and that I could build a legacy, and I could build a team, and I can control my own financial future. That's what motivated me. And that's what pushes me every single day, because now I know that if I die, well, this business is going to continue on. I mean, it's willable, right? It goes to my wife. And that recurring revenue stream is going to continue on. I mean, basically all the people that I've helped and all the team this whole team that we built together, that's going to continue on. So it's so much more fulfilling, both financially and, spiritually to do this work. And, that's why I put all my time and effort into this business, even when I was still working that new job, because that just was no longer my passion. My passion was no longer to work for any corporation, even though it was a good job. It's like I did cool work. It was a good job. But, I just realized that this is so much better, and it's ours, right? It's our business. You're working on your financial future here. So that was huge to me. So anyway, that's kind of my story in a nutshell. And I don't want to drag it out because I only got 5 minutes and that's probably gone. So basically what they told in the training was, even though you have this big, long story, most of the time you're not going to tell it all at one time, especially on social media. You're going to give what they said breadcrumbs. So if you have this big, long story about how you lost weight or how you, got to financial freedom or whatever, your journey, just give little breadcrumbs on Facebook or on Instagram or wherever. So just give little snippets and keep your readers engaged. So like every day, every week, give them more of your story. They said and I know this from other trainings, it's like if you go on vacation or if you go to Summit and you take lots of pictures, don't dump all 50 pictures to Facebook, because no one wants to, look through your 50 pictures except for your mom. You give like 1 or 2 pictures a day and tell a story with it, and if you do that over a week, it's going to be so much more engaging to your audience, And so that's true whether you're doing Instagram or blogs or whatever, so just think about that, and get good at telling your story. So that was the tidbit that I wanted to leave you with. And Casey, I wanted to share my story, so because you asked. So let's move on to the next person. How about Lisa? Who's food in her mouth up there?
Water, thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, I love seeing all the faces that we spent all that time with in Summit. Our little fit family. I missed you guys. So I had a bunch of epiphanies while at Summit. I can't even begin to tell you what an amazing experience that was, especially that super workout. Holy crap, that was really cool. I mean, I know some of you could live stream it, but to turn around and just see all the heads moving at the same time and seeing everyone cussing at the same time, there's nothing that can ever describe that. At one point, David Kirby was like, I think I felt rain. I was like, you're feeling sweat, people's sweat hitting you. There was just so much sweat flying. It was crazy. But so 2 workshops in particular really touched me, and in different ways. So I got some really good tidbits from the Anita Myron workshop that we went through, and they were talking about, I don't remember how they phrased what it was called, but it was about kind of making your coaches, forming your coaches into working coaches. And I got kind of hit up in the head on things that I'm lacking, and my weaknesses were kind of called out in my face. And one phrase that I kept hearing the whole weekend, it was kind of a running theme, was they kept saying the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. Right? I feel like almost every workshop we were in, you heard that saying, the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. And I know that personally I do a good job keeping up with my Success Club points, but I feel like I don't do well in, especially what they were talking about in this workshop was starting out your coaches right. And I always feel like I'm lacking there because I started as a discount coach, so I kind of missed out on that opportunity with my own coach. I think what I really got out of it is that I need to raise the bar with my coaches and be more specific with them. So they had said attracts like. So you need to know what kind of coaches you want on your team, and you need to emulate that really. So you need to be the kind of coach that you want to attract. You need to be the kind of coach that you want coaching under you. And I think the thing that I really lack in my own coaching of my coaches is setting goals for them, helping them set goals, especially in that first business call with them, setting up their business. I feel like I have fallen short there. So from now on, I think they'd given some good ideas where you're setting like high but realistic goals with them. And you get really specific, like, look, I want you to be Emerald in 2 weeks. It's doable. And like, this is how we're going to get you there. Just being really specific and leading by example. You know, you can't expect your team to hit Success Club if you're not hitting Success Club. You can't expect your team to go to Summit if your butt's not at Summit. Like, you need to be doing what you expect your coaches to be doing, and you need to be really upfront with them and, you know, put everything out on the table when you first have that call with them. And I think the thing that like really stuck out after they said that is you have a follow-up call in like 2 weeks. So like if you set a goal that you want them Emerald in 2 weeks, you're going to be on the phone with them. You're going to say, you know, did you hit that goal? If not, like, okay, what happened? Where did we fall short? How can we fix that? So that's something that I'm going to start implementing into how I work with my coaches, especially my new ones. I had seen a video of Anita's a while ago where she had like shown her welcome letter, and I had actually paused it and written it out and then like reworded it to myself. But like, I now know that I have to go back in and kind of redraft my welcome letter and just really be more specific and set more firm goals with my coaches. And then the other workshop that really hit home for me, and this was more on an emotional level, was Tracy Morrow. I love her. I've seen her talk at previous summits, and every time she speaks, I just am like drawn to what she has to say. And she had given a quote. She had said, if you want to run fast, you run alone. But if you want to run far, then you run together. And so a lot of what I was like being drawn to was how you work with your team, right? So me being at Diamond now, like, it's not about me and my business anymore. Now it's about my coach's business center. So I was really drawn to everything that they were talking about and how to coach coaches. And she and Summer Tucker, who's absolutely adorable, you know, just really kind of honing in on how you coach your coaches and being super specific and giving them goals to hit. You know, like business or what's it called? Success Starter. Like that gives them a goal to go at, you know, otherwise when you sign up, you're just kind of like, what am I doing? But if you say, we're going to go for Success Starters, they have a goal to work towards. So those were like the big things that kind of stuck with me. But as far as Summit in particular, what I learned in Cancun was I'm never going to miss another one of these events again. Like, we all see each other on these screens. We look like the Brady Bunch, right? We have all these faces. We know everybody's faces. We know everybody's personalities. But when you are face-to-face with your team, there is so much more bonding that takes place. You feel more of like a kinship with them. Like you feel connected to them. Like I have extremely funny memories with Nikki on the last night, you know, like Amber, she and I bonded in the airport, you know, Greg I don't even know how many miles I walked with him. Like there are moments that you just can't live through these Zoom calls. You need to be face-to-face with your team to form those relationships. And so you need to get your team, your coaches underneath you to Summit. You need to get to Summit, and then you need to get your coaches to Summit so that you can form these really tight friendships, because it's amazing what happens there. It really is. It was an absolute blast. That's all I have to say. Was that 5 minutes?
At least. More? Yep.
Sorry.
All right. Thank you very much. Next, how about Deirdre?
Okay. Yeah, right after Lisa. And you talked about something I was going to talk about, so I'll just kind of put it in my own words how I took it. But yeah, like Lisa said, Summit was amazing to see everybody face to face, and you already feel like you know them, but when you get to see them face to face, I mean, just wow. I had so much fun. I don't know how I survived it. I swear it was just so much to do in so little time. And I got my size certification while I was there. Shanti was actually in the class with us. I got to do workouts with Shanti. Yes, I'm a total Shanti lover. So I did everything Shanti when I was there. Insanity. I did size on Friday morning. I got my picture taken with him Friday afternoon, as well as Shalene and Sagi. And I was blown away. Everybody, they're just, we're family. I mean, even the people who weren't on our team, it was so easy for us to just strike up a conversation with anybody, no matter where we were. We're all there for the same reason. We all have the same goals, and it was just an experience of a lifetime. I've got my ticket for next year. I've got my room for next year, and there was so many takeaways, and I'm just going to touch on one. Lisa she talked about it a little bit, but my biggest takeaway was with Julie Boris and Anita Myron, and that was getting coaches started, right? Because that's where I'm at in my business right now. Now that I'm a diamond, I'm really focusing on my team, getting them going, building them up together, working together as a team. I have partnered up with, I found myself a success partner while I was at Summit, and oh my gosh, she's amazing. And so we're teaming up and working together, throwing ideas, kind of deciphering. I'm still trying to come down off this high. There was just so much information and trying to go through the notes and my biggest takeaways and actually implementing the things that I learned. And so when I started, I had an inactive coach, and I really, really struggled for a long time until Brian pretty much took me under his wing. But I was out there trying to find all the answers myself, trying to figure out the coach online office, trying to navigate and do it alone. And it is difficult. And I want to see my coaches hit success starters. I mean, that is my goal for every coach, hit success starters. I want them to be emerald by the time they end the first 3 months and then moving on towards diamond. And in order to do that, the biggest things, like Lisa said, set the bar high. You want to set high but realistic expectations up front. Remind them that they're their own boss, to take responsibility, and to be firm but yet supportive. Like attracts like. So you want to find those coaches. You need to attract the coaches, and you need to be the kind of coach that you want them to be. You need to lead them. And so I'm really focusing on right from the start, as soon as I get them signed up. My biggest goals, I wrote down my to-do list. What I'm working on right now with my partner is coming up with that coach welcome email. As soon as they sign up as a coach, boom, here's their email, which is going to set the expectations for them. It's going to tell them what they have to expect. Here's your homework. This is what I need you to do. If this is what you want, if you want to be successful, you need to achieve this. 7 days. Get them started, and then set that getting started right call, which is huge. That is when you have that communication with them and you can discuss with them, finding out what their why is. They will have already hopefully completed their homework before you even did that call. And so when you're having that call, you already know what they want, what their goals are. And then you get to tell them, okay, this is what you're going to have to do in order to reach those goals. And then getting them into a Coach Basics group right away. Those were my biggest takeaways from it. Yeah. I mean, it was just a great experience. I mean, my goal, I want to see all of my coaches there on my team next year. And I actually have one coach that wasn't there this year who's already bought her ticket, her and her boyfriend, and she plans to be a Beachbody champion, or at least be up on that stage. So just get them there. It's amazing. Anyway. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So then this next person, I can tell you, was probably the most apprehensive person about going to Summit. I mean, she asked me and probably everybody else at least 5 times whether she really needed to go to Summit. And that person is Leah. So Leah, was it worth it? You got to take yourself off mute. There you go.
That's funny. I was going to start off by saying, I was not sure if I was going until I got in my car Thursday morning. I actually had plans to be up there Wednesday. And by Tuesday, I think there was still a betting pool going all the way up. This is very, very, very out of my comfort zone. Not that I don't enjoy big crowds, as long as it's like, a concert and like, great music, but the whole thing was just not my style, I should say. So that said, one of the biggest excuses I had for not going is because I had watched all of the summit training that was available through YouTube from the year before. And so in my brain, if they were going to video this, I couldn't see the point of spending the money to go up there and the time if I could just watch it on video. So to tie into what Lisa said, she was talking about the animation that comes from seeing people live versus on these screens. But I can tell you, even if you're far away, seeing the speakers live and the 3D and the animation that comes off of their body posture and the things that you can't pick up in video was huge. It was huge. And, you know, I'm not a big emotional storyteller person. As a matter of fact, Greg, it's kind of funny that you've never told your story. Not only do I not ever tell my story, I had totally forgotten about the training that reminded us to tell our story. I'd blocked that completely until you mentioned it. So I actually sat around and I think for the first time told probably 80% of my story to Jason and Sarah Brett and Kim was there. Kim Gore was there. And, you know, and so that'll be a fun experience sometime. Maybe I'll actually tell my story now to somebody somewhere. So the takeaways, the big picture, you get the huge, enormous picture that you can't get through these calls. You can't get through your small team. You can't get through the videos. You can't get this through the national wake-up call, even when it's Carl Deichler speaking. There is an animation and an ability to see beyond the struggles that you're going through that comes out live when you're there. That's a big thing. So go for that reason alone. The other two takeaways as far as training, and then I want to finish with one quick thing, duplication. And this ties in to a lot of what Deirdre and Lisa were saying about, you know, Tracy was a big hit for me. Anita, getting coaches started right. I think all of us are going home that are Diamond now and like revamping our entire getting started right calls and our welcome letters. And all of us probably, you know, have our first time of a welcome letter. But duplication and the concept of a team was very big for me. A lot of you don't know anything about me. I actually am an attorney. So everything that has been ingrained into me about protecting your own work product and that it's mine and it's protected, it's copyrighted, don't touch it, don't look at it, is the opposite of what Beachbody is about. Beachbody is about creating systems that you hand to people to duplicate, and through their success, you get success. So that's a really foreign concept, and I can't emphasize enough that when the light bulb clicked up there about the concept of having a system that you can duplicate, having, you know, however you want to do it, if you want to do it in Evernote, Google Docs, a PDF, have a system, create a system. If you don't know how to create a system, get with a success partner, get with somebody else to have this, you know, why should you have to develop a coach welcome letter? Let me give you one that you can make your own. So the process and the concept of duplication is huge. And when you're just starting out, you don't see that. You don't even see the team concept. You're just choking around trying to get your first challenge pack. I mean, you're just dying for that. And, you know, every customer that's out there, you're hanging on and grabbing onto their clothes. So the concept of doing for others that are underneath you, well, I don't, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one that has a problem with that. That was like, just let me get the challenge, you know, let me sell the challenge packs and get the success, you know, club points. But so that was a huge thing, was duplication. And then of course I will tell my story one day, and that's it. But in the name of this, there's one thing that I decided I was going to do. Greg, I'm kind of blindsiding you with this. I hope this is okay, but whatever. Since they are putting all of this training up on video, and since all of us have coaches that, you know, weren't there or you weren't there yourself, one thing I'm going to do with my little baby growing team is we are going to have a 6 or 8 or however long the training sessions, however many they give us. I'm going to lay them out in a little different order that makes sense, and basically give a homework assignment of watching the video for that particular week. And then we're going to have a team call to basically train everybody. I'm sure other coaches have this idea. If you're doing this with your own team, fine. If not, or even if you are, I will make it public to anybody that wants to join on. So we'll have a homework assignment, and then I will go through and basically follow up, hit the top points, be there to answer questions, what was maybe confusing that didn't come across clear or whatever, and kind of try to help everybody catch up to, to par on what was taught at Summit, because that was the biggest thing for me, is the training. It really does hand you the tools that you need to go forward. So there's that. Did I actually make it in 5?
Pretty close, yeah. So yeah, that's awesome, Lisa. Leah, that's a great idea. So yeah, definitely open that up to the team, create an event. I'm sure a lot of people would like to participate.
Okay.
Also, what did you think about the general speakers?
Oh my gosh. Oh, like my heart, be still my heart. I have a crush on like everybody that spoke up there. I think I have total guy crushes. I have like girl crushes, of course, my nutrition. Oh, it was awesome. The general speaker.
Shalene for president.
Huh?
Shalene for president.
Oh my gosh. I have a crush on everybody. Oh, it was so awesome. But the speakers, that was another one. Greg had to do I have to go to the general session? Do I have to go to this? I was like, we're in Nashville. Oh my God, I'm dragging all the way up here to sit in this silly arena and listen to these people talk about nothing. And I'm like the bad student. They were amazing. I mean, fantastic storytellers. And it's kind of funny. Gosh, this is recorded. I hope Carl Deichler never hears this. Because, well, here's this man that has this enormous vision, and he's so gifted at what he does, and everything that he touches, he does well. He puts together the best of the trainers, the best of the products, the best of the programs. And so why, in my mind, I thought that he would do anything less than flawless, over the top at Summit is beyond me. Because I was like, oh, this will just be like that horrible lecture in school. But everything from my perspective, from the beginning to the end, that didn't involve, the workouts, or, that was more the education-based side of it, was the highest quality that you could get a hold of. They just do need to save a little more time for the spring break effect in Nashville, but you got to work around.
I heard that one of the speakers for you guys was a photographer, and Leah was like, what in the world do I need to listen to a photographer for? And then her mind was blown. So I think she gets it.
Yeah, he was amazing. And it was just a great, I hope, well, they probably won't video him, I'm sure, because that's his kind of thing that he does for people. But it was a great experience. So there will be, I'm sure, equally wonderful experiences next year. So don't get on the waiting list. Get on the waiting list.
Yeah.
And that's all.
Okay. Brian, your turn.
Woo! Hey guys, still recovering a little bit from crazy, exciting adventure this weekend. Well, since I've been a coach, this is the 3rd summit that has happened. But however, this is the first summit that I ever went to, was this one. When I became a coach, the summit that came up in my first year came up pretty quickly after I became a coach. And even though Greg asked me, to go, I didn't know, what summit was about, or even what coaching was about. So I was like, nah, maybe, next time. When the second one came around, there were some issues that I was going through, so I was unable to make it. I probably could have made it and should have made it to that second one, but I didn't. So when this one came around, I said, I don't care, whatever, I have to go. I have to go to Summit. So the thing, and you guys, we've already talked about it, it is just amazing, that energy level when you go to Summit with all the coaches, everybody from our team, all the different coaches that you meet. It is just, it really, really is indescribable. All the workshops, you guys have already talked a little bit about the workshops and the general sessions. It's just incredible. If you think about the things that make your business grow, I like to call them, and we all know them, aha moments, where you get ideas, you listen to something, or you read something, whether you're, maybe it's the National Wake Up Call, maybe it's a personal development book that you're reading, and you might take away 1 or 2 things from that. When you go to Summit, you are just overloaded with aha moments. Just ideas just keep popping into your head, and they even had a workshop on how to take notes, to be a great note taker. And the way that I take notes with Summit is, I listen to all the speakers, and then as these aha moments are coming up, these ideas are coming up, that's what I'm writing down. So it's just, if you guys, I know it's sold out right now, so get on the wait list, definitely, because I know more tickets are going to open up. Greg has told you guys more tickets will open up. So definitely get on that wait list, and get to Summit, because the, aha moments are what's going to move your business forward, and having more aha moments equals more dollar signs, for your business. So my takeaways, like I said, there's so many to choose from. But one that I'm going to talk about, is during one of the general sessions. And that was when Shailene was speaking. Shailene was incredible. She was awesome. Now you might think, okay, Shailene is up there on stage, in front of 10,000 people. And by the way, the way that it kind of works, if you don't know, is we have the workshops. There's different tracks, but the workshops are actually smaller. A lot of people in the workshops, but they are smaller, and a little bit more intimate. And but the general session where the main keynote speakers are is in a huge arena. I think it was the hockey arena, right? Yeah. And there's 10,000, 12,000 people, in that arena. So when Shailene came up, you might be thinking, what is Shailene going to talk about? Is she going to talk about, aspects of coaching? Is she going to talk about, I don't know, new programs coming up? I mean, what is she going to talk about? And basically what she talked about was having a healthy relationship with your spouse, your partner, and how to have that relationship when you are running a business and when you're busy with your business. She, and let me just backtrack a little bit. I told you guys I missed my second summit because I had some issues going on and things. Well, that was when I was actually going through a separation with my wife, was during that second summit. So when Shailene got on stage, and just so you know that, my wife was there at this summit with me, we did reconcile and we got back together. And it's only been, it hasn't been too long. It was earlier this year. But she decided to go to summit with me, and she was sitting there right next. And let me tell you, we were listening to Shailene. We were both looking at each other. We were both nodding, it was great. And one of the things that Shailene said, and this is something that we have both been working on, she talked about, if you want your partner or your spouse, if you want them to be nicer to you, to understand you more, well, then you have to be 10 times nicer to them. Okay. She talked about doing the 5-to-1 ratio, which I read about previously about something about this, but then she took it and she hit it home. And basically that means that most of the time what we do, we lead such busy lives, and especially if you're a coach, and if you're a coach that you have a full-time job like I do, I have a 40-hour-a-week job that I go to. And then all of that other time I use, is really spent with coaching, so there is not very little time, that my wife and I get to spend together. She is completely on board though, she helps me out with my business, but I learned that we do have to take, with all the work that we do have to take a little step back, and make sure that there is time for both of us. Now, going back to the 5-to-1 thing, with our busy lives and everything, we might, come home and complain about this or complain about that, or throw out 5 negatives, to your spouse or to your partner, and then follow it up with, oh, and by the way, how was your day? Or, you look nice today. So you're doing the 5 negative things, and then you're saying that 1 positive things. But what you have to do is switch that around. Okay. And you have to go with the 5 positive things. And if you have to, maybe that 1 negative thing, so that really, hit home, and everything she talked about, really hit home. And like I said, it was, when you go to these things, you don't really know what to expect, what the speakers are going to do. And when Shailene come on stage, I had no idea she was going to talk about anything like that. So it was really refreshing, and a surprise to hear something like that. And like all the speakers, like we just talked about, we had the photographer, and I can't for the life of me remember his name. Maybe Greg remembers his name. He was just, Greg's like, no, he was phenomenal, and he used his art, he used his photography to get across his point of living in the moment, being the best that you can be with whatever you're doing in life. Just completely motivational. I mean, it's something you don't expect. You go to something, okay, what are the new products? What's Carl going to talk about? What kind of fancy effects? Who's going to fly in from the corner of the stadium? So it's really nice when you have these other things that are surprising that you don't even expect. And then we had Simon. I remember his name. And he was a great speaker. He was one of the keynote speakers too. So it's just amazing experience. And like everyone just touched upon, being there with your team, being there with the other coaches. I mean, the energy in the environment, it's indescribable. There was one, and Beachbody coaches are, one of the best people in the world. There was one, I think my wife put her bag down or something, and I was talking to somebody, and she tapped me on the shoulder, and she's like, "Hey, I got to use the bathroom. Can you watch my bag for me?" And I looked at her, I said, "Honey, we're surrounded by 20,000 Beachbody coaches. Ain't nothing going to happen to your bag. Go ahead and go to the bathroom. You're perfectly fine and safe right here." And that is the kind of atmosphere it is. Okay, so that's what I got. It's my 5 minutes. It was wonderful. Get there.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian. Okay, is Rannell on? Maybe? No? Okay, well, I asked Rannell to speak. I guess she's not on because this was her first time. And if you guys remember, she didn't have enough money for Summit, and she was saving up, and she was doing like fundraisers and selling stuff, and she made it to Summit. And I think she will tell you that it was well worth it. So, but unfortunately, she's not on. So how about Greg Short? I know you're on.
Yes, I am on, and I think most of the aha moments have been taken. Thanks, guys. So I think I should start my timer too, right?
There you go.
No, so this is actually my 4th summit, and so I've been around for a little bit, and this was again amazing summit for everybody that can make it. Please do. I have 2 moments, and they're not really about the key speakers because they've been covered a lot. But there's 2 moments. The first moment was with my daughter. I haven't told her this, so this is the first time. She's one of my newest coaches, so 18 years in the making, I'll tell you. But we were out Friday night, and I get a text from her. She's like, "Hey, I'm looking for my coach ID. I can't remember where to get it." So, but it was busy. I couldn't hear it. And then I get, "Oh, never mind. I found it." So I gave her a call later, and I was all, "Oh, are you selling something? Are you doing research?" She's like, "No, I needed it to sign up for next year's summit." So, so she'll be there next year. Very excited about that. But what I really wanted to share happened Wednesday morning before summit. I got there early because I'd never been in Nashville, and I wanted to visit with people. And so I went out on a run. And unlike Leah and stuff, I do share a lot about myself. But I was out on a run, and I was running back to the hotel. And everyone was walking to work. They had their lunch in one hand. They had their briefcase in the other hand. And I'm on a high because, heck, I'm in Nashville. This is a lot of fun. And I'm running by people, and I say, how's it going this morning? And people are all, "Oh, great, it's going good." But I came across one lady. And when I said, "Hey, how are you doing?" she gave me a look that could kill. And I was like, whoa, but she's carrying her bag and stuff and just looking at me like, who are you? And it hit me at that moment. What we have as Beachbody coaches, what we have the opportunity, you know, a lot of you know that I do this full time now, but whether you're doing it full time or part time, I just looked at that lady and how she looked at me like almost in disgust. And having that opportunity to be able to share this with people, have the opportunity to help them see the vision of what we have. When you get to hear those speakers, I mean, what other business puts the number one coaches up on a stage and says, hey, tell everybody in the company how you are doing it? And they share explicitly, in many cases, step by step by step of how you can be successful. National wake-up calls, everything. And then they bring in these speakers. And I'll tell you, the DeWitt Jones, that's his name. There you go, Brian. He had a way of looking at it. We are always going to have troubles. We're always going to have things that are going to hold us back, try to keep us from summit, try to keep us from sharing. You know, if you hear my voice, it's raspy. One thing I got from Nashville was a chest cold. So running in humidity, go back to dry heat, it's not real fun for me. But I knew I needed to get on this call because reality sets in, it tries to stop us. But that lady that gave me that look, I know I can help her because I have the tools of Beachbody. I know that these DeWitt Jones in particular, I looked at her and it hit me. This is my life. Beachbody is my life, and I have the opportunity to help people change their lives, to see something that they haven't seen before. So really, it's an amazing event. Get on that waiting list. I mean, I'm a white personality. I love meeting people, the pearl in me. I can't wait to meet everybody on this call in Nashville. I know our team has quadrupled the amount of people that are going next year, and I hope to see everyone else. So that's all I have.
Okay, awesome, Greg. Thank you. Rannell messaged me that she is on, but she was having trouble with her mic. Did you get it fixed, Rannell? No, we're still not hearing you. So, okay, we will move on to CK then. CK, are you there? I know she was on.
No, I'm here. Sorry. I was trying to find my picture to unmute.
Okay.
Couldn't unmute. So one of the things I was going to touch on pretty much what everyone has touched on. And then I was going to address something about Shakeology. But I have been a coach for a couple minutes, I guess. And I went to Summit in 2012. And it was an amazing experience. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I registered in 2013 and I registered in 2014. I got the packages and I was excited. I couldn't make it in 2013 because my son was in the hospital. So I was pretty devastated. I was even trying to get there up until the last minute. I know I sound like a horrible mother. But I was trying to get there, but it was not happening. He was having surgery and that couldn't happen. So I didn't sell my ticket or anything. I was holding on to it until I could, until the very last minute. Last year, I started a new job and I couldn't get the time off. So what I did do both of those years is I watched the streaming. And like everyone else kind of touched on, yes, you can stream it, and no, it's not the same. You still get chills, and you still get goosebumps, and you still get excited and jump and look like an idiot and stuff like that. But the difference is that you can't
not everything is going to be streamed. So that was the disappointing thing for me last night. And I was, or not last night, but last year, because I was actually kind of complaining, being like, well, why can't they stream? I think it was John Maxwell. That was someone that I really wanted to see. And I was so bummed out because I was looking to see if there was any way I could get a hold of that stream or the video. And there's not. So if there is a keynote speaker that you want to see, you are not going to be able to see that. Other things that there's other stuff that probably isn't streamed. You're going to get the general session for the most part. You're going to get some workshops that's going to be videoed, and the closing session. But and the closing session is is wonderful, and you cry and you get chills. It's really crazy, but I mean, I learn and to meet people, and I learn introvert. I thought I was like an outgoing person, but I'm really not. I don't like to be around like a large group of people. I waited in line 2.5 hours for the core, and then I had to get out of it. So I was a little upset. But one of the things that I took away was Simon Sinek, and he talked about being in the moment and how, and this is huge, how we are so married to our phones. It's disgusting. So what I did notice yesterday, I had a networking meeting and I took my phone out of my purse and I started to look at my stuff, and I was like, oh, no. And it was, but he doesn't just talk about being like dedicated to your phones. And yeah, we're Beachbody coaches and that's what we do. We take selfies and all that good stuff. But he mentioned and he spoke of how disrespectful it is to stare at your phone when someone is speaking, whether you're at the table, whether you're at a meeting. And so that was something that definitely hit home and that made me think, wow, yeah, you're probably right. So, and that was something that I wanted to touch on with that. The other thing was, when the video comes out is the workshop about Shakeology. I think a lot of us position these challenge packs based on the workouts, and we should really focus on nutrition first. Shay Stanford talks about Shakeology being the missing link. She talks about how it's just easier to it's like it's a fast food kind of sitting on your calendar or your counter. I'm sorry. And it's a whole food and it's a vitamin. So I think what we don't do is we don't necessarily, I don't want to say the word market, but I think we lead with the programs first. And I'm not going to go too much into it. I'm just going to leave it at that. But I think what the main topic was learn the products. So yeah, we know what 21 Day Fix is. Yeah, we know what P90X is, but actually dive in a little bit to what Shakeology is all about. Learn the ins and outs of Shakeology. Learn the ingredients. You post in your challenge groups specific information about Shakeology so you can learn, something every day. So that kind of hit home for me too, because like I said, we lead with the programs. Everyone sees all the infomercials, but no one, unless you have a program, nothing about Shakeology. And unless you see a Beachbody coach sharing it. So we should definitely lead more so with nutrition than the program. So I would just suggest when those workshops come out video, definitely take a look-see at that.
Okay, thank you, CK. Rannell said she joined by her computer. Can you talk now?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yay. All right. Okay, so my takeaway was kind of along with Lisa and Deirdre. I'm not for sure on the name. Anyway, and so I learned that I am I have been managing, not leading my team. So I've been, I don't know how to describe a manager versus a leader, but I haven't been leading by example, and I haven't been like the getting started right stuff. I didn't really have any of that. I had copied some other people's, but I hadn't really put it into work. So I have a whole bunch of discount coaches that I never ever gave shout outs to, or I never handled that right. So I took about 3 hours today and put my getting started right stuff the way I want it. And then another takeaway was that seeing the top leaders in person really showed me that they are a lot like us. Like, they're real. They're not, I don't know, like, you know, seeing them on videos and stuff, you always think that they're just like celebrities. You know, like, they're not real, I guess. I don't know how to put it. But for me, I really took it to heart that they are a lot like us. Like Tracy Morrow, one thing I loved about her trainings is that she really puts us on the same level as her. And that's, I think I sometimes get caught in my challenge groups and stuff talking to them like I'm better than them because I'm a personal trainer, and so I'm like, well, I know this and you don't, kind of thing. And so it really kind of made me realize that I need to put myself on their playing field too. Like, I need to treat them the same way that Tracy Morrow treats me. And then another big takeaway was also Shalane Johnson. And it kind of ties into my story a little bit, but she had talked about how, like, when you are making changes, it's hard for other people to adjust to those changes. I was fit once before, and then I gained 70 pounds, but it was because I was in a relationship and it got abusive. But it got abusive after I got fit. And I just thought it was because he went off the deep end, but what she said clicked. It's because he felt like he was losing me. Like, all the things that she talked about, it was like, oh, okay, it makes sense. And his way of dealing with it was becoming abusive. I'm not saying that's okay, but I'm just saying it makes more sense now. So it helps me tell my story too, because I just never realized why. So that's it.
That's it? Okay, great.
That's it. I mean, there's a lot more, but for the sake of time.
All right, so was it worth it?
Oh, yes. It was so awesome. And seeing everybody in person, and I got a picture next to Shalane Johnson. I couldn't take it. Her photographer guy took it, but that was awesome. It was, I don't know, it was just, I can't even describe it. I loved listening to Simon Sinek. I could listen to him all day. I listened to so many YouTube videos of him. And then Dewitt Jones was the photographer guy. I liked him a lot. He was, like, it made me cry. Seeing all those pictures and just talking about different views and everything. It was awesome. So I had so much fun. Way outside my comfort zone, but so much fun.
Okay, awesome. So finally, I don't know if Jason's on. Jason Wagner, are you on? No, I guess not. So at this point, I will open it up for questions. Does anybody have any questions about Summit or any other comments about Summit?
I just want to add one more quick thing. If you guys are noticing the theme that we're all talking about here, Summit is not about becoming a better coach. It's about becoming a better person. And when you become a better person, that's when you will become a better coach. So that's kind of how I feel about it. That's all I wanted to say.
Cool.
Can I say something, please?
Sure.
Hi, it's Felicia. I really, really wanted to go to Summit. I am such a Shanti fan. I really, really, really want to go. So I really plan on being there. No, I will be there next year. I am going to be there. But how was Shanti? That's all I wanted to know.
How was he?
Yes. Was he nice?
Well, I'll let Deirdre answer that because I think she was like a little schoolgirl when she met him. Deirdre, are you still on?
I don't think she's on anymore.
Oh, okay.
Felicia, Sean T was awesome.
Really?
Awesome. I did the insanity workout with him on Thursday, and it was just incredible because, I mean, you know, doing Sean T is also my favorite. I started with insanity, doing the workouts at home and listening to Shaun T, talk to you about the workouts, but then when he goes into his motivational speaking, that's when Shaun T shines, and when he did the workout there, he kicked our butt, but when the workout was over, he had, he did his motivational speech, and let me tell you, people were crying, people were clapping, people were, it was just incredible. And Felicia, you have to go, because also what Shaun T did, he's up there on the stage and there's 1,000 people, doing the workout there with him. He doesn't stay up there, Felicia. He comes down on the floor, walks around. He does push-ups with people. He'll be right in front of you doing jumping jacks, giving you hugs, giving you high fives. So
he's a great motivator. Wow. Okay.
Yes. So
and when you do go to Summit, you got to earn your photo op with him.
Oh, you got to earn it. How do you earn it?
That was my question too.
So this year you had to hit, you had to be in the top. Do you remember what the percentage was, Greg?
Top 200 of the people that went to Summit in your category. So like coaches, you had to be in the top 200 in Success Club points.
Success Club points, yeah.
So like myself as a diamond, I hit 20 that month, and I qualified for it. If that gives you an idea.
Okay.
It's doable. And then in Cancun when we went, we had to hit 10 in the first 10 days of the month. If that gives you an idea.
So is it for like all year round that you have to hit that, or is it just like 1 month that you have to hit it to get
the month prior?
Yeah, and they always do that because obviously they can't get their picture taken with 25,000 coaches. So only the best of the best get it. So,
but you can't touch them inappropriately, Felicia.
No.
Oh, of course not.
Right, at least they got busted for that.
I did. You know me.
It was Shaun or Sagi? It was Sagi, right? Lisa?
What was that?
It was Sagi, right? That you.
No, I didn't touch anybody. Deirdre. Deirdre was a little excited.
Deirdre, yeah.
Deirdre was hyperventilating, and so was the girl in front of me. So.
All right, what else, guys?
I have a question.
Yep.
When you go, how many sessions do you get to go to? Like when you get there, how many sessions do you have the whole summit?
Well, you get to go to them all. So basically we went to like coach training in the morning. And so I think, what did we do? 3 sessions each day. So it's like 3 hours of coach training led by top coaches. And then we had lunch. And then in the afternoon, we went to the general sessions in the arena. And those are where the keynote speakers are, and Carl is, and Shalene, and all those speakers. So and then the next day you do it again. So you get to hear everything.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
and there's lots of other stuff going on. There's different parties that you can go to if you hit certain requirements or criteria. The Success Club party, All-Star party. Greg threw a fabulous Team Engage party for all of us at the Honky Tonk. So we did that. We had the 3rd floor. This place was rocking. So there's, you work hard, you play hard, you have a great time. It's just incredible.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's really all about the family, though. I think these people are just, you tend to become family. I miss Lisa. I want to hug her in the airport again, and I miss her so much.
Oh.
So I could literally cry right now. So I miss you guys like terribly. So that's really what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever says, I miss Greg so much. What is up with that?
So much, Greg. So much.
Incredibly so much.
I miss Amanda.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Definitely.
She's the glue that holds us all together.
That's true.
Definitely.
She's the Earl. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay. Question: are you gonna be at the Super Saturday?
The one in DC?
Yes.
Yes. Are you?
Because I was there a few months ago, and I know you were there, but I didn't get to actually talk to you. So, but I plan on being there this Saturday, so I can.
He's like the tallest guy there.
Yes. I'm actually hosting it this time, so definitely come up and say hi.
I will do that.
Okay, anyone else? Nope. Okay, well, thank you all for attending, and if you have any questions, you can just post them in the group. And next call in 2 weeks will be with Summer Tucker. So if you don't know who Summer Tucker is, you need to go Google her and look up her YouTube videos. She is amazing. 15-star, 3-time elite, amazing speaker. And she was one of the speakers at Summit, and she's going to be on our team call. All right?
I love her. I love her motivation. She gets gangbusters on it. She cracks me up.
Yep. She's awesome.
Incredible. She was incredible.
All right. Good night, guys.
Night.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.